Our work begins by showing a planet in its orbit, but something isn't right. Are we in the right location? You're in the wrong location. No, that's not right. Planet number 177, 4652, 2245, B2C, S2, C4, 23. We've arrived at the exact destination we need to be at, planet Earth. Robert. Robert, you little food thief. Come back here. That's strange. I'm sure this is the right place, but it's a place full of radiation, with no trace of oxygen, and apparently there's a high-value criminal hiding here. What's more, there's a high-ranking member of the Dark Blood Gang. Ah, that's it, you bastard. Calm down. Calm down. Is it really true? That information was released when Moon H invaded the beggar's sight system. Man Sundya, what do you think? If it came here, it would be to commit suicide. Oxygen saturation at 23.76% and radiation contamination level at 87%. It's a perfect place to die. It's possible that there's at least one man living there with a high-level radiation shield and a high-capacity internal power unit. That covers several cycles. You might be able to last about 6 hours in this place. So, Robert, what are you going to do if we get there and find nothing? Are you going to risk your life? Oh, come on, my life? Oh, don't worry. Anyway, if I'm not there, you'll already be dead. Calm down, calm down. Sundya says there's a sign of human life detected underground. Right coordinates. In the past, this place was called Mount Tai. Mount Tai? You mean that Mount Tai? That's the one. The place those old guys from the Martial Alliance call the Legendary Shrine. It's the origin of the Mount Tai star system. And the first thing we see here is garbage. The Martial Alliance, why don't they come and do some cleaning here to make a little money? Huh? Isn't this their sacred ground? They're all talk and no action. They're not going to do anything that doesn't make money. Well, we're here. This is the place. And it looks like a temple, only it's completely buried by sand. Are you sure there's nothing here? The other one, who's on the ship, speaks through her earpiece. Isn't that it? Yes, only underneath. Ah, then I must dig. What are you planning to do down there? Whatever it is, it's down there and alive, isn't it? One of her devices says, activating the internal energy impulse. If it were a normal human buried down there, it would have suffocated a long time ago. She uses this electromagnetic impulse to strike all the sand upwards and make a hole. Robert is the one who gets all the sand on his head. Next time, at least warn him. Then she takes a look to see what's happened, and she's actually managed to make a hole by digging down there. She says into the wire, Sundya, some sign of life asleep but alive. There's also a big space down there. Captain, you'd better bring up the electronic ladder. But when she said that, she was already throwing herself into the hole. Oh man, you and your years-old temper. Oh, at least wait for me. Down there really seemed to be a very wide cave, wide enough to fit these big gates that are in front of it now. They look like doors with Asian ideograms on them. I can't tell if it's Chinese or Japanese, but it says, "The world is afraid of me and has imprisoned me with the great dharma of esoteric teachings. If you clumsily try to awaken me, death will greet you first." Signed by Lee McGean. Ah, what's written there? It looks like something. Sundya, can you translate it for us? It's from an ancient language from at least 2,000 years ago. In a nutshell, it's saying, don't open it or you'll die. Ah, it's a cool challenge. I said that asshole is hiding here. A challenge in a language nobody understands. Ah, it could be possible. Either way, it's a good sign. If there's someone telling us not to open it, there must be someone inside. And when they open it, there's a lot of dust. They're impressed by the size of the place because it's even bigger inside. It really looks like a temple. And at the top of one of the altars, there was a ball of fur. Ah, it sounds human. But the captain takes a good look at it. No, but she's going up the stairs to see what it is up close. Looking at this ball of fur, we notice that it's a ball of fur, but it has human legs. In other words, it's probably just a very hairy human. Is it alive? Human? It was buried here 2,000 years ago, so I guess it's not alive, is it? But the captain continues to stare until she decides to touch it to see what it is. She touches the being's nose, but nothing seems to happen. However, what follows leaves her very confused, as it seems that an electric discharge begins to run through her finger and the nose she has touched. Without much time to react, the whole fur ball starts to get electrified. The captain is alerted by this. Damn, What is that? It looks like she's used a skill on her hand, and when she tries to hit this being, nothing happens. A huge glow begins to form on her face and expands until it lights up the whole room. But not only that, the hole from which they entered is completely destroyed, making a much larger hole in the ceiling. This beam of light not only came out of there, but also left the Earth's orbit and passed right next to their ship. What's going on? Guys, Captain, what's going on? Captain Sarong, Robert, answer me. Why aren't you answering? Captain Sarong, only she's lying in a corner, her mask smeared with blood. She's coughing up blood and lying wide-eyed in a corner. Robert was face down on the ground, and the creature approached the captain. Who are you? How dare you wake me up? The captain doesn't react, just stares at the scene in front of her. Is that a challenge? A martial artist capable of challenging me has finally been born. Speak now. Why have you awakened me? Damn, I can't understand a word he's saying. The captain activates the real-time translation mode. If you don't answer, I'll kill who? No, hold on, I'm going to kill. What the hell? What kind of monster is that? The captain continues to use various skills, including a huge explosion, throwing it several times, sending it to die. She uses this skill so much that everything starts to shake and a very thick smoke rises. Her equipment warns her that it's about to overload. 1.2 cycles out of 1.4 have been used in one go. This is to recharge the internal energy. But when she looked, the animal was still standing, in one piece without a scratch, just like before. The divine art of the golden Kuan Yin and the divine palm of the red snow, although they are martial arts of the Mei sect, seem to have many impurities, which suggests that they were learned through theft. In other words, you're just a thief saving yourself by robbing tombs. The bug begins to levitate towards her. How dare a mere thief disturb my eternal sleep? I declare that you must die now. At that moment, the captain doesn't understand what has happened, as the animal simply falls face down on the ground. What was that? It must have died now. Exposed to this planet's radiation without the shield, it's only natural that it didn't die now, right? Anyway, he lasted a long time. Sandhya begins to talk through the wire. He's not alive, yes, he's breathing, but he's a little off the pulse. He seems to have collapsed from using so much energy. His body's fine, but he's got no battery inside his stomach. Stomach? Are you telling me he fainted from hunger? No, Captain. No way, you want to take the guy with us? Just leave him behind. Didn't you see how angry he was before? What's worse, the guy resisted radiation worse than a cockroach. The guy's a monster. He almost killed you. Do you want to take him along? It's worth the money. The people look at her in confusion. She continues, not just money, but lots and lots of money. Obviously, people are still confused by this. She asks, what is the most valuable cultural heritage today? Well, the closest to the original and the most expensive. And judging by the circumstances, that hairball is probably an ancient martial artist from about 2,000 years ago. So 2,000 years ago was that legendary period, wasn't it? When martial arts were highly developed. Even the lowest F-class techniques of that time earned at least 10,000 credits. But this hairball isn't at that level. He was certainly a great master. If he really is A-ranked, we'll get a lot of money. But what if he wakes up? No need to worry. That celestial silkworm thread over there, used for repairing spaceships, even the head of Shaolin silk couldn't get hold of it. But suddenly they hear the sound of something tearing, and when they look up, the bug is on its feet again. How dare you, mere grave robbers, try to arrest me? I'll tear you all to pieces. Damn, I knew this would happen. Everyone prepares to fight, but Sandhya simply holds out a tray full of food, specifically grilled sausages. And, of course, the beast starts eating voraciously. He's sitting at the cafeteria table, and the staff are staring at him. How did you know that? He's been very hungry for a long time, and the best thing for a hungry beast is sausage. The two kind of understand. Oh, and after a while on the ship, then you're not grave robbers, but bounty hunters who accidentally woke me up. Now this is the world 2,000 years after my time. Humans, after hurting each other endlessly, have destroyed the world and decided to live in the heavens. That's pretty much it, and things have stabilized since then. They decided not to allow any weapons other than martial arts, including nuclear weapons. So what's the name of the era we're in? We're in the year 1105 of the galactic calendar. So you live in heaven now too. You're beginning to understand, aren't you? That's right. We woke up after 2,000 years. You should be grateful or whatever. Silly what you think. Do you know who I am? You're nothing but third-rate grave robbers. And now you're trying to fool me with your nonsense. Do you really want to die? Until, simply, the three of them point to the ship's window. When he looks out, he sees the landscape of Earth, but from far away. That grandpa, master, that's where you once lived. This is the world I lived in, is completely destroyed. Yeah, but do you believe in us now? Even if I wanted to believe it, I can't. You expect me to believe that the Earth is round? Oh my God, how ignorant. Oh, man, what's that smell? I can teach you the rest later, but how about you take a shower first? Maybe trim that hair of yours too. Oh, what do you mean? Go and have a shower soon. They stand at the bathroom door waiting for him. They hear the noise of the shower, and when he comes out with a very hot shower, all the smoke reveals even his old clothes on the floor. Why did you tell him to cut his hair? And we see a lot of hair falling out. I'm afraid of something mummified coming out of there. Until they are shocked by the person coming out. He dries his hair and we see that it's a young man with a crack toy. I was wheezing before. There's more of what I ate earlier. I'm still a bit hungry. The captain is completely shocked by this. Who are you? Later, in the same spaceship, the newest crew member is there, looking out of the window and watching the stars go by. So that's what heaven is like. I once lamented the narrowness of the world, but here it really is very vast and strange. He's very focused, and someone squeezes his cheek. It's the captain doing that. How old are you, huh? Oh, just so you know, years of hibernation don't count. The others are there saying that this is not normal at all, but they are watching the conversation. They've been to Plaids, a star cluster in the Milky Way, stopped off at the Asteroid Space Tavern, and are staying at the Wild Cran Inn. There, our friend is devouring a pile of sausages. How can a human eat so much, huh? Well, he's been hungry for 2,000 years, hasn't he? Well, then he has to eat 2,000 years of food. Yeah, judging by what he's eating, apparently so. While he's there eating, along with Robert and Sundya, the captain is meeting a small-faced person, the innkeeper Wild Wong. Yes, it has to be someone very rich, because the product we have is extremely expensive and valuable. How much does it cost? It must be expensive for Blazing Devil to be that frantic. How much would a complete collection of martial arts manuscripts from 2,000 years ago be worth if they were all original and S-rated? Obviously, that completely shocks Wong. After the meeting, when the captain leaves the room, one of the guards there says, "Can this really be true? Because this kind of thing with an S rating from 2,000 years ago is extremely valuable." 0 credits, says the guard. Excuse me, sir. I said 0 credits. If such things really existed, a single book could buy a planet and more. The captain claims to have found several of them. A mere mid-level bounty hunter, the flaming demon, stop talking nonsense and just kill them. She goes back to the table and sits down next to Robert. Oh, where did Sundya go? He went to buy supplies. So, how was the meeting? Actually, it was good. He said he'll contact us immediately when he finds a buyer. But what is this? There's no way he could have eaten all that. You're lucky he stopped, man. We're going to need the money right now, aren't we? Suddenly, the doors of the tavern open and all the staff look at who is coming in, because it seems to be a hardcore group. The captain thinks, are these people from the Celestial Demon Sect? Obviously, they start looking for our protagonist group. They've got scanners looking for every single person. Why are they here? They specialize in tracking, so they must be chasing someone. Don't make eye contact. Calm down, you said demon sect. What? Demonic sect? Are you talking about the Celestial Demon Sect? How do you know the Celestial Demon Sect? Or have you been asleep for 2,000 years? The Celestial Demon Sect has existed since that time. But why aren't people running away from them? If they were really members of the demon sect, people should run away in panic. Because the heavenly demon sect has its quirks, but they still pride themselves on being the largest orthodox sect in the entire universe. The Celestial Demon Sect, an orthodox sect. He thinks, my dream, that dream that always seemed so distant and empty, has it finally come true? The bald man walks past the tables until he comes across someone a little suspicious. He tells the guy to look up at him. He analyzes all his information: temperature, martial art he uses, criminal record. Tell this old man that it's his lucky day, because he's not the target of the demon sect, but he has some crimes pending and should hand himself in to the Martial Alliance now. The guy just stares at him. Someone puts their hand on his bald head. Admirable attitude, you know? that seemingly impossible dream of mine. Ah, you young people made it come true. It's just as admirable as the suffering those young people must have endured to reach such stature. He hugs the guy's bald head. The guy who was being threatened has no reaction. The bald guy asks if our protagonist, who is hugging his head, is autistic or something. Not exactly. He has some poor social skills. That's it. And the guy says that this kid has a lucky day today too, because if he'd had a little bit of martial art energy in his body, he would have torn our protagonist apart. The guy tries to push against the protagonist, but he simply won't move. The guy is pushing too hard, his veins are bulging, and the guy doesn't move. Oh, what happened there? I'm not sure. The guy keeps pushing hard with his martial energy, but our protagonist doesn't move. The internal energy drive system is activating the demonic art of the bloody wolf at maximum drive rate. The guy carries all this energy in his body and finally manages to break free. Stop playing with me. The power the guy demonstrates is not to be trifled with, as he creates a storm with this demonic energy, lifting everything around him. However, he only lifts objects, not people. Everyone stares at him, as only stones and dust fall from the ceiling, and even he is shocked. The captain comments, "I don't think he's in good shape today." He wonders who the hell our protagonist is. He thinks that our protagonist's goal is to kill him instantly, but he hasn't succeeded. He tries to analyze our protagonist in the database, but there is no file on him. What's more, he senses zero internal energy coming from our protagonist. The Blood Wolf Demon art is one of the lower-level martial arts among the heavenly demon cultivation arts. Even so, it is commendable that it has been passed down so far. However, it's a shame that your internal energy and that are not in harmony. I believe that your training method is flawed, but meeting me today is a very good opportunity for you. So let me put that right for you personally. The guy then prepares another skill in the protagonist's direction and uses the Red Wolf's demonic claw, which is like an attack with big fiery claws. Our protagonist dodges and almost hits someone. The guy tries to use the Red Wolf blast, but the protagonist dodges again. He tries various skills, but the protagonist dodges everything with ease. The protagonist thinks, "You even have internal energy, but your form is very imprecise." The guy goes to use another skill, but our protagonist simply says, "All right, that's enough," and he crushes the bald man's skull with his fingers and throws his head to the ground. The head sinks so hard that everyone watching is very impressed, and the guy stays there, probably passed out or dead. You've learned well, but how? Even a parrot just repeats. True martial arts are not about imitation, but about adapting to make the technique your own. Now, if you understand, get up and try again. The guys from the demonic cult realize that the bald man isn't going to get up and they go for it, because the protagonist has just hit their leader. They all go after him at the same time, but what happens next, well, you'll see in a moment. What do you mean you haven't liked it yet? My boss, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us to keep bringing you quality content. Having said that, you can continue with your video. Meanwhile, in District 32 of the Celestial Demon Sect, they are watching the images from the cameras. The guys were beaten, with slap marks on their faces and all over the place. The leader wasn't even responding, he had no teeth, but he was alive, I think. They're all going straight to emergency, and the commander of District 32 says that this is unbelievable. Until someone else comes along and says that at least they're alive and that their lives aren't at risk. The stranger managed to leave the entire Red Wolf platoon in this state. The other one who has just arrived is the senior elder of District 32. He says he's not in the database, but his allies were in the database. It's a group of bounty hunters known as the S-Demons, who mainly clean up petty criminals of Class B or lower, led by a person called Sarong or the Flaming Demon. On the ship, our protagonist was ready to eat again. The guy asks, "The Flaming Demon?" And the elder explains that yes, he's a well-known bounty hunter who covers both the orthodox and non-orthodox worlds. After the incident, they left Wild Cran to track them down. He asks if they should send a chase team after them, but the commander says he'll take care of it himself. It looks like he's calling a very large screen to get into a meeting with someone. Ah, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Commander Jong High-Tech, is there anything specific you'd like to ask? I'd like to ask for the boss group. That's right. Returning to the scene, the protagonist was hungry and the crew is just staring at him again. The captain asks, "Just so you know, you're as scared as I am, aren't you?" "What are you talking about? Are you going to tell me you didn't see what that guy did to an entire Red Wolf squad?" Rank martial artist. He slapped them and they all went flying at the same time, were thrown away and knocked out. "Oh, you mean those guys? Well, if I fought seriously, I'd beat them too. They may be ranked, but they're low level." "Ah, well, put it this way, if I put my life on the line, I might be able to scratch them. But the guy swatted them away like they were flies. Wait a minute, Captain. She slaps her hand on the table where the protagonist is sitting. Let's talk. He just stares at her soul. Food first. No, let's talk first. What's your name? Huh. Captain, I'd suggest you be a bit more respectful, you know? Are you deaf, kid? What's your name? Meanwhile, Sund is already bringing more grilled sausage. Don't even think about it, we just talked about it. He stares at the captain very seriously. Captain, haven't you ever heard that you shouldn't disturb a dog while it's eating? Let's make him comfortable. Layak J, what's your identity? Last profession, Supreme Celestial Demon. Supreme Celestial Demon? What kind of nonsense is that? Did you give him spoiled sausage? Suddenly, the ship's alarm begins to sound. Apparently, there's someone behind us. Someone is aiming at us and they're close. I knew it, it must be the Celestial Demon sect. Now we've wiped out their platoon. They won't leave us alone. It's not the cult of the devil. Damn it, it's the Forest Squad. We see a platoon, in fact an army of ships behind them. They say that this is the S-Demon's ship and that they're already in their sights. The guy who appears is the one from the phone call that just came in. This is Kim Sung-ban, the leader of the 72nd Wood Division. The commander asks the division leader if they can capture the ship. You said you were bounty hunters, right? Yes, and according to the investigation, they operate mainly on the outskirts of this galaxy. Their leader is called the Flaming Demon, Sarong. The division leader thinks, why would the Celestial Demon sect want to take down a group as small as this? Going back in time to the scene of that video call, we accept the reward. Please state the conditions of completion. What should we do after capturing them? The guy replies, there's no need to capture them. Just erase them from existence completely. At the time, the leader also wondered why kill is such a suspicious order. They are much more skilled at taking lives than we are. They must have a specific reason for entrusting this task to us. There must be a trap inside that ship. Damn it, they've brought a mob down on us. They're bandits. They must be here to rob us, right? Ah, Captain, I doubt it very much. Dragging such a large fleet around. What garbage. They must be robbing extremely poor people like us. I understand your point of view, but I was a little annoyed by the way you referred to us. Anyway, it doesn't matter. If these thieves from the woods get in the way, we'll just beat them and throw them out. Meanwhile, Mok Jean stands at the window, impressed. It's not that simple. They're part of Galactic Division 72 of the Woods, and it looks like the whole division has been mobilized. A Galactic Division? That means the leader of the division is here. Kim Sung-ban, is that it? Yes, that's his name. Black Tiger Kim Sung-ban. Mok Jean, you're all impressed, aren't you? Okay, Kim Sung-ban, even I can't beat this guy easily. Of course it's not easy. You'd be dead in 3 moves against him. Hey, I'm not that bad. If I really put my mind to it, I can do something. Forget it. Let's just surrender to them. We have nothing to lose, right? So from now on, everyone follow my commands. First, they're going to launch an EMP homing missile to cut the ship's power and incapacitate us. We'll allow that. Then, I'll enter the ship armed and I'll allow them to examine the ship as well. And of course, why would I allow that? How is that different from surrendering, man? Ah, just do as I say and don't panic, Mok Jean. The ship will only shake a little. Don't worry, it has no destructive power because of space laws. These guys can't use weapons from the ship. Well, you don't understand any of this, do you? Alright, don't interfere. As soon as they get what they want, they'll leave. If a fight breaks out and things escalate, I can't guarantee anything for you until the alarm sounds again. Well, brace yourself for impact. Oh no, it's a photon cannon. The captain becomes desperate. Captain, one of the ships is using a photon cannon. It wants to kill us. I think we have a problem now. Meanwhile, on Bosque's ship, the guy is warning the division leader that this could cause problems because they're using a weapon. It would be better to eliminate them quietly. No, I have a bad feeling about this. Just turn them into dust soon. We can transfer all responsibility to the client, the Heavenly Demon Sect. When you're ready, fire away. Sandhya says they can use the teleport, but they're surrounded and the shields aren't working. We sold the parts. Have you forgotten? Okay, now what? The commander tells the leader that the cannon is fully charged and that they can fire now. The photon cannon fires at the S-Demon's ship. It's a huge laser bigger than the ship itself. Everyone feels the light approaching and the imminent destruction. A huge explosion takes place in the vacuum. Meanwhile, the leader is there, just watching the ship being destroyed. But he is shocked to see that the ship is intact in the midst of the flames. That's because another ship has passed over it. A ship much much bigger than all the others in space. On top of that ship was a woman with a spear. Hey, 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 what's that? The division leader recognizes the woman. It's the ghost fighter, Helena, 2.5 meters tall. Helena and Mach Jean were there, watching. Everyone else started watching too, with Helena in front of the entire galactic division of the Grove. Helena didn't look happy at all. The commander warns them that it's an Earth formation grade shield, and they can penetrate it if they maximize the photon cannon's output. She asks if it's time to recharge, and the leader replies, "Are we trying to start a space war just to deal with a cockroach? This person is not easily manipulated. Activate the teleport." The division leader is already putting on armor to protect himself. Why is this monster here? If the 2.5M ghost fighter Helena is an S-class bounty hunter, she's so unpredictable that even the leaders of most sects avoid her. Why is she here? It's even more puzzling that she saved us. If she hadn't blocked that photon cannon, it would have been over, until the division leader teleports in front of Helena. "It's been a long time since I've seen you, Sister Helena." She seems to be a person of few words. She seems to be a person of few words. "Surely you've forgotten me. I'm the 55th youngest brother, Kim Sung-bon. I greeted you on Mom's birthday years ago." Helena replies, "Get out of my face." The leader is shocked by her coldness. "Let me introduce myself formally, this time not as your brother Sung-bon, but as the leader of the galactic division of the 72 woodland fortresses. Sending me away like this is like sending the whole grove away, and I can't accept that." It seems that Helena is a little angry. Will they fight? It won't be an easy fight, not even for Bosque. This woman is untouchable. Dealing with Helena alone is difficult, and if they weren't so ignorant, her lion mother would come out from behind too. "Oh, Mother Lion? What do you mean?" Returning to the conversation between the two outside, the same as always, resorting to fists for a conversation. "Anyway, I surrender. I don't want to fight you here. Let's settle it peacefully. But I'd like to know why. Those you saved are your targets, aren't they?" Helena replies, "Get out of my face." The leader thinks, as expected, but what's her purpose in targeting that group? Meanwhile, the group on the ship was watching the whole conversation through the window, until Helena sends a message to their ship. "Hand over the boy or you'll all die." The message comes over the loudspeakers. What's happening now? Does she want to rob us too? "What have we got? Captain, have you hidden anything valuable?" "We have nothing." "Is there anything on this ship that an S-rank bounty hunter might want?" "Do you know this woman, Mach? Maybe he had an affair in the past or a girlfriend. I don't know, a big breakup?" "No, she's not here because of me. It's probably because of the child back there." They look and see nothing. The captain is confused, but Mach Jean simply says, "You can show yourself. The child has nothing to fear." Silence hangs over the ship until suddenly a girl appears out of nowhere. She simply materializes in front of them. The crew are shocked. "Hey, who is she?" "She's a little girl with a cap. She followed us from the hostel. She had a presence but no form, so I left her alone." But to be able to hide her breathing is such an advanced stealth technique. Martial arts have evolved so much while I was asleep. It's not a martial arts technique. She's wearing a stealth ring. It's quantum technology, very valuable stuff. The captain approaches and confronts the girl. "Expensive or not, whatever. Who the hell are you? And what are you doing here? Why did you sneak onto our ship?" "I'm Rarim." "Nobody asked your name, girl. And why is Helena after you? Are you their target?" Rarim replies, "Probably. As long as I'm alive, they won't stop coming after me." "Oh, come on. Did you say Rarim? Do you know her, Robert?" "How could I not? She's the lead singer of Prosan Pro, the best rookie idol duo in the galaxy. She's the lead singer of the idol group that sings that hit song I play all the time and even you dance to." I was right. She's even more beautiful in person. According to her photo, 1.62 m, 47 kilograms, blood type AB, allergic to cats. Last warning, give her up or everyone dies. The people are silent listening to this. "Ah, Miss Rarim, why are they chasing you?" "It doesn't matter now. Let me be very clear with you. There's no reason for you to come here. You're not our guest, so get off the ship." "Captain, I've made my decision." As captain, Rarim is leaving the ship. "Captain, think about it. She's the lead singer of Prosan Pro. We can't protect her from Helena. Even if we keep her here, her fate won't change, but ours will. We'll all die if we keep her here." The captain presses the button to open the ship's doors. Obviously, She's also feeling a little sorry for herself. The system warns her that the gates are about to open, but someone puts a hand on Rarum's shoulder. This Mach Jean. Didn't I tell you? Don't worry. Rarum is startled to see him. The captain wonders how he got there and starts to press the button again to close the gates. Captain, how about we see what happens? He's very strong, and if he defeats Helena. Are you crazy? It's outer space. He doesn't even have a mask on. Sandhya, close the gates now. Captain, too late. Ah, damn. The next thing she knows, the gates are open and the two are gone. That insane bastard, he's really gone, the captain shouts. Thanks for trying to help me, but whoever is chasing me is really very powerful. Mach Jean starts to run out of air, obviously because he's in space. Sir, aren't you going to tell me you're without a shield? My God, he really left without a shield. He struggles in the vacuum. Helena and the division leader watch the scene with curiosity. The captain starts shouting to Mach Jean outside, "It's absolute zero. There's still the pressure of space. Your organs will explode in 10 seconds. Why didn't you leave with the shield?" Mach Jean begins to freeze and faints. The captain goes over to him, touches his face and activates the nanoshield. "Idiot, you're alive. Breathe. What are you doing?" Mach Jean was already awake, staring at her. "Oh, I thought you were dead. You idiot, you worried for nothing, for no reason. I'm a supreme being between heaven and earth. Have you forgotten? Nothing in this galaxy can threaten my life. But how do I get down from here?" He's floating. Thank God she wasn't late. No, she was very late. He would have been dead by now. A normal martial master can't withstand even a minute, but he endured 6 minutes and 13 seconds. What's more, his organs are completely normal. The captain descends on the ship with Rarum. This guy has completely exceeded human limits. They are in front of the division leader and Helena. The captain thinks, her aura is no joke and she's still got the leader of the Wood Division by her side. No case, Matt. Mach Jean, I'll take care of it here. Hi, good to see you. Nothing bad has happened, right? I'm glad you're still healthy. I've heard a lot about you too, you're really good. I'm Serong, the Flaming Demon, leader of the S-Demons. But they don't seem very friendly. Rarum nervously holds the protagonist's hand. Don't worry, I'm with you here. This woman is not human. She's a fighting ghost. Ever since she was young, she was always out traveling and looking for opponents. She's survived to this day. She's a very nice young woman, with a heart and soul dedicated to martial training. A rare talent. No, that's not what I meant. The captain tries to resolve the situation peacefully, but an attack comes towards her, creating a huge explosion. It was Helena who made the attack. When the dust settles, the captain manages to get out alive. Hey, what are you doing? Weren't we just talking? The division leader thinks, look, not bad. It's not an easy attack to dodge. So that's the Serong Flaming Demon. But I think it would have been better if she hadn't dodged it and died right away. Now Helena will become a furious, poisonous scorpion. In the end, it will be more painful for her. From the middle of the smoke, a sob is heard. It's Rarum, sobbing, and the protagonist is slapping her on the back. Wow, you get so scared over such trivial things? Relax, it was just a child's prank. The leader is completely shocked. What I saw was just a noisy firework. The guy was dealing with Helena's attack as if it were a firework? That's incredible. Breathe well, Rarum. Helena invokes her aura, visibly furious. The protagonist doesn't even react, he's just trying to help Rarum breathe. Helena glares at him with hatred. You, child of the spear who threw a firework. Do you have anything to say to that child next to me? Talk to me first. She's under my protection now, so whatever you say to her, she says to me. Meanwhile, the division leader tries to analyze the protagonist, but realizes that there is no data in the database. If you don't have any business to attend to, you can leave. Suddenly, a great brightness dazzled everyone. The explosion could be seen from afar. The protagonist simply stops Helena's attack with one hand. Child, this is your business here. Do you want to fight me? The leader's eyes almost popped out of his skull with amazement. He stopped Helena's attack with one hand. But child, something strange is happening here. Using the radiant sword technique was from the Junkong quote. Channeling it with a staff is one thing, but using this great Shaolin divine art for internal energy? Do you know what you're doing with this martial art? Besides, you're so young, but you already have an internal energy that exceeds 3 cycles. Look, it's a lucky encounter or not, it depends on your point of view. Helena starts using the internal energy unit operating at 90%. 3 cycles, and now changing the internal energy to the divine art of the red sun. Looks like you're getting interesting, Delanka. She changes her energy to 95%, and the leader is impressed by Helena's power. He knew it was high, but not that high. Mok Jean isn't impressed at all. So, are you going to go all out now or not? Helena is preparing to use all the power she has. She receives a warning in her mind, and a flashback of her history unfolds. Leaving for the world, I won't stop you. Any fight that deepens your training is allowed, but death is not. You're already strong. In the whole world, there are less than 10 martial artists who can harm you, and not even they can bring you to the brink of death. But remember, I'm your mother. She puts a ring on Helena's finger and says, there's one rule. If that alarm goes off, you must flee no matter what that means. The opponent you are facing is out of your reach. If you ignore the warning, you will die. Back in the reality of the fight, Helena faces Mok Jean with much more fear than before. She begins to remember several voices criticizing her for having her tail between her legs, telling her to know her place and questioning what she could do since she was so weak. The day she was introduced to her siblings, she learned that they had different fathers, but were all born from the same womb as her mother. Although they shared their mother's blood, Helena was forgotten. Her name was forgotten. She decides not to listen to the warning and starts channeling more energy. She reaches 120% internal energy, and her spear turns into a scythe. Mok Jean watches and says, look at that, a transcendental awakening with a transformation. I understand, time has passed and martial arts have evolved too, but isn't that a bit much? Just as Helena is about to hit him in the face with her scythe, Mok Jean dodges and continues. The storm sword technique is a bit chaotic, from the Emi sect. Look at that, the sun and moon twin wheels, the sun-piercing spear technique, and the sun blade technique from the Dekong sect. Helena is now at 140% and uses the dog whipping technique and the 8 drunken immortal step from the beggar's sect, as well as the 4,000 red needles from the esoteric sect. She reaches 170% internal energy and goes after Mok Jean. Okay, I think that's enough, right? Mok Jean simply dissipates the energy coming towards him, resulting in a huge explosion. As the smoke begins to dissipate, everyone looks up, impressed and shocked by what they see. Helena is in her final form, with several arms and swords, and advances towards Mok Jean with 190% internal energy. He continues with a calm expression and thinks, ah, child, you'd better stop now. Your talent is truly admirable, but you've crossed the line. Your awakening shows wounds and desires. You're being consumed by your inner demons. Besides, I'll have no choice but to kill you. Mok Jean begins to load his first skill. Do you know why? Because I promised to protect this child behind me. Both the leader and the captain realize that this is the sword of the heart. Helena continues her attack without flinching. Child, I told you to stop. Mok Jean uses his attack against her, creating another huge explosion that completely fragments Helena's ship, which explodes. The Bosque commander, watching from the sidelines, is stunned by the explosion. The leader returns to the ship, all wounded. I'm not dead yet, Captain. Let's teleport now or we'll be blown to bits too. In the middle of the wreckage, screams are heard. You're crazy, Mok Jean. We almost died. In your past, who, in the middle of the ocean, would set fire to their own ship because they're angry? You should have restrained yourself. Containment is not an option. What was that blood? Are you hurt? I faced a stronger power than I expected. The captain looks up and sees Helena all broken up, with no armor. Is she dead? No, she's not dead yet. An even more powerful force has just protected her. Helena's mother appears, holding her in her arms and beginning to abduct her. The captain recognizes the woman as the matron of the Sword of the Western Sky, mother of Helena and the leader of the Woods Division. The matron's ship is huge, more like a space cruiser. Mok Jean is already preparing another skill in case he has to fight again. Inside her mother's ship, Helena is placed in a tube to recover, and everyone involved in the fight is inside. The captain, who gave Rarim her hand, says, I couldn't have imagined you were coming. Mom, please, it's not your place to intervene. Act as if you weren't here. The matron bows to Mok Jean. I am the matron of the Western Holy Sword. Both my son and the captain have been impressed by the courtesy and respect I'm showing you. I violated the martial arts dueling code out of family affection. If you wish, you may cut off my arm in apology. No, ma'am. Don't worry about it. Yes, she's my daughter. So that's it. Family takes precedence over the dueling code. The captain insists on speaking more respectfully to Mok Jean, criticizing his temper. She is surprised to see her mother kneeling in front of Mok Jean. Sometime later, on the same ship, the captain says, although my daughter's consciousness has not yet recovered, the exact reason is not known. It has been confirmed that the place she passed through before was a hill. She was probably commissioned there. The martial arts demonstrated by the Reverend Master just now seem to have been the Demon Heart Surasword technique. May I ask if you have any connection with the Heavenly Demon Sect? I don't know. Maybe in the past there was a deep connection, but time has passed, and time corrodes even the strongest bonds, like iron, dissolving connections that are dearer than life itself. Helena's mother reflects. He really is an extraordinary figure. Both technique and internal energy, even martial arts, are perfectly refined, without a trace of artificiality. But this state is not attainable outside the peak of martial arts, and he looks only 20. Has he rejuvenated himself? She turns to Mok Jean and asks, Reverend Master, do you intend to propose a real fight? Although you're being polite, your every word oozes murderous intent, like a sword sharpened against stones, getting sharper and sharper. Mok Jean replies, Reverend Master, you have very sharp ears. Well, I've never refused a challenge. But be aware that if we fight, one of us will die and the survivor will be seriously injured. Something that strong has no room to bend, it just breaks. Yes, Reverend Master, that's probably the case, agrees the mother. The captain, seeing the aura, wonders what's going on. But do we really have a conventional reason for fighting here? If we have a reason in the future, we can sort it out later. I want to see more of this new universe. Is that okay? She is speechless for a moment and dissipates her aura. After a while, the S-Demon's spaceship takes off. Her mother watches and asks, was what you were doing a request from the Celestial Demons sect? Yes, Mom, that's what it was, Helena replies. I still can't understand it. That individual clearly possessed the supreme martial arts of the heavenly demon cult. But why did the demons accept him? Did they want him killed? Besides, why did they hire the Woods? It doesn't make any sense. There was some news recently, Mom, that the Celestial Red Wolf platoon was completely annihilated by an entity. Could be related. Well, there's no need to think about it too much. Whatever the situation, your imagination won't be able to deduce it. Just follow his movements and report everything to me. Can you do that? Yes, Mother. We of the Grove are proudly the best in the galaxy at tracking. She gives a sinister look to her son, who doesn't say anything as he already feels the weight of his mother's gaze. Okay, I'll trust you, but track him without interfering. I don't want my son to get hurt. Ah, Mom. And by the way, what's your name again? Changing scene to the S-Demon's ship. What kind of trouble have you caused? The captain was snorting with hatred. You got us involved with the Woods, with Ghost Helen, and on top of that, with the matron of the Sword of Western Heaven. You turned the world upside down. What have you done? I'm really sorry, but I honestly don't know why. After I finished my tour, I went back to Monterey, my hometown, and everything was different. Sure, it was the same people, but everyone was trying to kill me. A few crumbs were falling on the table as I spoke. It was our prototype devouring Zal Zixa. So I ended up running to you, not knowing where to go. Sundya, do you have any clue what she's talking about? Asks one of those present. Meanwhile, the Zal Zixa crumbs continue to fly, and Robert knocks on the table. Hold it right there. Did you say Mount Hua, Mount Ra planet, my homeland? What happened to Mount Hua? Tell me, humans really are abnormal, aren't they? The girl chokes out. Back to the mothership. Helena is coming out of regeneration and her mother asks, tell me, daughter, what happened at Monte Hua? Helena stares at her in silence. Back at the Wild Cran Tavern, someone is watching the fight between Helena and Mok Jean on the big screen. They observe all the skills and how Mok Jean ends up dominating Helena. The same guy who tried to trick the captain remembers her mentioning the S-rank abilities from 2,000 years ago and now believes they were real. A fortune, my friends, but he's already missed his chance. That's all for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Remember that members watch the videos without ads. See you next time. Cheers.